Hello everybody and welcome back to Wesley's Plant World with me, Wesley Peterson, and today I am standing out in the area of my garden here at Crystal Cottage called the Bonfire Garden, and I have my annex behind me here because I think the red backdrop will make a nice background for my houseplant video today. And my video is all about the plant hiding right behind me here. This is my beautiful Monstera deliciosa, and this plant has been out in my garden all summer long. I think I put it out in around May, so middle of May, June, July, August, September, and it's now October, so this plant has been outside for around 5 months. And today is the absolutely final day that I can have this plant out in my garden, and I was getting really worried because I hadn't been able to get back to my cottage for over a week, and the temperature at night has actually got down to around 4 degrees Celsius. And I thought, okay, this plant is just not going to make it. But look at it, bright green, puffed up leaves, looks absolutely fantastic. My plant has hardened off and can cope with a temperature down to 4 degrees Celsius. Now that is amazing because this is a tropical plant, and usually it's said that you shouldn't have this plant below around 15-16 degrees Celsius. Well, this shows you that this plant can absolutely cope with that. And the daytime temperature has only been around between 9 and 12 degrees Celsius. So even during the day, it's been pretty cold. And this plant, I'm so pleased with it. And it has grown out these lovely long aerial roots everywhere. One is all the way around the back of the pot here, actually hanging right down. There's another one on the side here growing out. And at the same time, I planted this plant out with my Crassula ovata. I wanted it to be a combination so that I don't have to see all the soil at the bottom. So now, as you can see, this is typical for a Monstera deliciosa. Just turn it around forward a bit so you can see that gorgeous leaf. But now I need to turn it to the side so you can see what I'm talking about now. Watch this root. You can see that the Monstera deliciosa, if it's not supported, it will start creeping off to a side, because in the wild, in the jungle, it would creep along the ground with its aerial roots until it finds a tree or some kind of upright vertical that it can attach itself to. Then it would start climbing up, and then it would attach to that tree or wall or whatever's there. And when it's grown right up, it will become mostly an epiphytic plant and use its aerial roots to keep it alive. And it has these lovely big leaves with all these lovely fenestrations and slits, and well, it's doing what it does naturally. Short internodes, thick vine here. So, because this is the last day before I take my plant indoors, I'm going to reorganize it outside here, and then I can put it in its position indoors easier, because like this, I'm just not going to have space for my plant. The first thing I want to do is, my Crassula ovata has done really well. Even though it's been in a shady spot in my garden, it's stretched out a little bit, but I've been plucking out all of the new growth at the top, so I've kept it low so it doesn't get too leggy. I need to remove these because I'm going to be standing up my Monstera deliciosa and then adding a coconut fibre stake to the middle of my pot to support this plant up and help it to grow upwards. Now, this plant doesn't need anything that's moist or anything like that. It's just basically to support the plant. It's got all its aerial roots and it's absolutely fine with that. So I'm going to get this in the middle of my pot, but to do that, I do need to take these Crassula ovata up, and I might actually restart them because they're tall, they're lovely, but it's going to be hard for me to work, and yeah, pulling up all their roots and that is very difficult. I'm hoping that I'm just going to be able to get my Monstera and pull it to the side, basically, put my stick in and tie it up. But it's probably not going to be all that easy, depending on how the roots are. So basically, I'm just going to start. And actually, I'm just going to rip up these Crassula ovata because this plant, I know, is very, very robust. Rip up these, and I'm going to reset them. I've decided. I'm not going to put them in with their roots again. I will cut the bottom of their roots off and place them lower down in the pot when I'm finished, and they can start the whole process off again. It's not that much of a problem. And I have so much of this plant and I've worked with it so often that I know I can do stuff like this, and it will it will bounce back. It does. I don't fuss. Once you know about certain plants and you know what to do with them, you know when you don't have to fuss too much. So that's all my Crassula ovata ripped out of the pot. I've got lots of leaves and things growing here. Now, my vine is like this. Is it going to be kind and be able to be, it's solid in there. You know what? I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to have to pull it out, put it in, and then go and mix myself some new soil to put around my plant. So I will just put up on the screen here some soil ingredients that you can use for this plant, because it is an aroid and it likes a chunky mix more than being placed in just a normal soil, because it will stay too moist and stay too compact and it won't be happy, it won't be able to breathe. But saying that, my plant has been out all summer and it has rained a lot this year, and my plant has been moist a lot of the time, and you can see the result. It's very happy, but that's because it's in a terracotta pot, so the moisture can still wick away and not just sit in the pot like a puddle. So that's kept it alive. So anyway, I'm going to start getting this out now. I'll move my stake so it doesn't get full of soil here, lean that to the side, and the aerial roots, and see if I can just see if I can pull this plant along a little bit. And I'm glad I'm doing this outside, because then I don't have to worry about soil everywhere. Oh, he's really well in his pot. Oh, there we go. There he's up. And actually, wow, these roots are amazing on this. I wonder if I can lift it up. No, you know what? Absolutely beautiful, amazing roots. So now all I want to do is, putting forward a little bit more, get my plant back. Oh, don't fall down though. Get my little hole blockers here so that there's a big hole in the bottom. So I just put some crystals in the bottom of my plant here. Now I can see how I can stand up my plant. So it needs to go in this way. Quick, easy, to the side, like that, which is the front of my pot actually. I just know. Wait a minute. I need to see how I want to place him. So this is going to be the new top and front of my plant, and these are all the roots that I'm going to have to work down into the pot like so. Well, you can't see, I know, but basically I'm not doing anything special. I'm just straightening up my plant, and then before I do anything else, I will just get my stake here. So I'll just turn the pot to the side so you can see what I'm doing. I just want to do this very, very quickly with no fuss. So if I do it like this, you can see there's my plant. If I look at the front, I can see how straight he is. Oh, he's absolutely gorgeous. Put my stake in at the back, because I want to encourage my plant to grow one way, so I get a lovely effect the whole time. It doesn't matter if the stake's a little bit back, or does it? I don't know, like that. And now, yes, so I have a tie in my pocket. I'm just going to tie my plant up. I couldn't find any string, which really isn't good. So at the moment, I have a little bit of wire just to link these two together for now, until I find me some string, because the whole point is to get this plant growing up this stake. That's all I need to do for now. One tie, and while I'm here I can just rip off the old sheath that the new leaf came out of, make it look tidier, like this. So basically my plant is already up on its stake. If I turn it round even more, there you go. You can see the stake at the back. I didn't need to do much, and now I just need to go and get myself some soil just to fill up the rest of the pot. I've decided to keep all the aerial roots on the plant. I actually am one of those people that like the aerial roots. Some people don't, but I just think they're so amazing, so I want to keep those. Soil, and then I'll be able to recut and reset my Crassula ovata around the top of this pot. So one moment, please. So right, I've just got myself some more soil, and I've mixed in bark, leca balls, a little bit of sand, biochar, all the things that I had lying around, just to make a chunky mix to put around my plant. And then it's just about putting it in and laying it all around. Quick and easy, no fuss, lots of mess. I like that. Because I'm outside, so I don't have to worry, which is great. So there he is in his pot. Just put some soil around this side, because I have a back corner here that needs a little bit of soil. And this coconut fibre stake actually had a plastic rod in the middle. So it's not wood at the bottom, because wood rots away very quickly. So I know it will be able to stay in this pot with no fuss for me for quite a while. So I am done with putting the soil in as well. I want to make a trench around the edge so that when I water, I know it's not going to run off everywhere in my cottage, of course. Seeing as this is going to be going in as my house plant again. Just pull some of this away from the edge there. There. That should do it for this. So now I have done that. Let's turn this plant to the side, because now you need to be able to see inside where I plant in my Crassula ovata pieces here. So I am going to, I just want to show you actually, because they've done so well. I'm going to grab a few and bring them. These were all easy cuttings I made a while ago. And look, lots of roots, and that's how wonderful they're looking. Even these plants surviving in 4 degrees Celsius at night and between 9 and 12 degrees during the day. They're shiny, they're bright, they're coping. And these are plants that are tropical plants as well, that like warm or hot temperatures, burning bright sun directly on them. That's what they're used to. But these have been in shade, in cold conditions, and they are surviving. So that shows you they can harden off. I am really amazed with this as well. So basically go in, chop off the bottom and start again. Succulents, you can always do things like this because they grow roots and they bounce back. So I'm just going to get on with placing these all around my pot, and then I will show you the end result when I'm done. The only thing you need to think about with these Crassula is put them in, and as long as they stand up, they will produce roots. If you're worried, harden them off first for a couple of days or a week, depending on your situation, or do as I always do and put them straight in the soil, and then don't water them until this soil is bone dry and you see the leaves of your Crassula starting to wrinkle. Then you know you can give them a slight water, not too much still, and then they should bounce back with no problem. So I'm already getting the bottom of my plant quite well covered with this plant again, which pleases me. And seeing as I did this before, well, I obviously know it's going to work out, so I'm not worried at all about doing this. this is even more plants that I'm putting in now than I had before, because well, each piece becomes a new one itself with roots. Oh, I snapped the top of that one off, so I'll take that out. Put another one there. There we go. And now that I'm taking these plants indoors where it's warmer again, they should get a flush of energy to grow out and grow new roots quicker again. Wow, I have so many Crassula ovata that this pot is going to be lovely and lush and green straight away. That's what I want, because I don't want to wait for it to get green again. I'm getting down to the last bits of the Crassula ovata, and then I'm quickly and simply done with reorganising this pot. I said to myself today, I want to make sure this video is a short one, because I've made many that are longer, but that's because I've had longer projects that have taken me all day, and it's really difficult to cut them down to a really short video that's only a few minutes long. But seeing as this is just a quick makeover, I feel like I've managed to do that this time. And that feels so good. I need to remember that this is my front, so this is where I want to see most of the green. There we go, I'm finished. And of course I can just lay all of the little leaves inside the pot, and they will get roots and grow out as well. So you don't need to waste anything in this kind of situation. I might as well carry on. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about in a moment, because I have a leaf in front of me that has actually done just that. So that was perfect timing to give you an example. So have a look at this lovely little Crassula ovata leaf. So look at this little leaf. It's growing out a whole new plant there. And you can see there's the roots and there's the leaves. Just because this leaf fell down on the soil, it's ready to produce a new plant. So I will lay it down at the front there to carry on. And then there's a big leaf down here. I can just put that in there. And there we go. I am done with my project for the day. And here are all the debris. Basically, I just restarted all of these. You don't need any of that. And also, because I don't want these plants to grow too quick, it's good to just cut off the roots, put them in the soil, and then they will grow out roots again, and then they will start the process, but they won't grow too quickly for me. So I've got a nice green carpet now at the bottom of my beautiful plant. So let's turn him around so you can see from the front, and all of these lovely aerial roots. Look at this, and this one here, and one hanging out here. So I couldn't be more pleased at how quick and easy it was for me to reorganize my gorgeous Monstera deliciosa that has done really well for me for a couple of years now. And this year it produced me one large new leaf, which is the one up there, and it actually has a new leaf on the way out, which has stopped because it's got so cold. So when I put it in, I'm expecting this plant to push out another leaf. That means I will get my 2 leaves in this season, because it usually produces me 1 to 2 leaves. The older leaves that I had at the bottom had to be cut off. They yellowed out, the big original ones I had. But since then, you can see how much it's growing out and producing new leaves and enjoying its life together with its companion, the Crassula ovata, at the bottom. And this is going to be on the floor, and the stake that I have is around 1.20 meters. So I won't have to do anything with this plant for years. It will have plenty of space to grow up here, because 1 to 2 leaves a year, and then only growing around 2 inches between each internode per year means there's going to be a long time before this plant gets too big for this stake. And I'm just hoping now that my plant is going to be able to produce bigger and bigger leaves for me again every year, because when I first bought the plant, it had leaves that were around 60 centimeters long and wide. They were really big. And these ones are around now 40 centimeters. The last one this year came out to around 40 centimeters. So that's really, really nice. So now all I have to do is get this plant indoors. I don't have to do anything else. I'm not going to water it for a week or two. Let it settle in now after being moved around and these Crassula ovata being cut back. And let it reacclimatize now to a warmer environment indoors. So basically this video was just to prove that even a tropical plant like this, wow, it's unbelievable that it can survive 4 degrees Celsius at night and still look lush and green, and even the Crassula ovata, and survive. But now it needs to go in, because tonight I've seen the temperature's going to be 2 degrees Celsius, and then before I know it, it's going to be -degrees within the next week or two. And then this plant would definitely be a goner, because it could not survive freezing temperatures. So I really hope you enjoyed seeing my Monstera deliciosa again. It's been in a few videos now, together with my Crassula ovatas, and well, I'm just so happy with it. So all I have to say now is thank you very much once again for watching this video. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell so you know when my next video will be coming up. And I will see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.